Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live here this morning, and hope you're having a great start to your day. And I think we have an interesting program this morning. You'll be interested in this. Colleen. You know, Colleen, you're numero uno today. Good for you. And Linda, how are you? And Holly from Kansas. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Our friend John from Elgin, Illinois. Kim. Rosa from Montreal. Kevin, Oshawa. Donna. Wendy from Markham. Good morning. Regina. And Francis Marie. Pamela. And Rose from Peterborough, Cape Breton. Barbara, good morning. Lori, how are you? Jane, Tirana. And Lori Lee, Ventura, California. Nick from our staff. Francis, good morning from Vaughan. Gwen, Australia. Wow, what time of the day is it? Or is it tomorrow? You know, how are you? Debbie, Diane, bonjour, Ziane, Micheline, Alma, and Danny. Nice to have you guys on. Jeanette. Okay. Jane Ann, Bernice. And we love you guys, right? You know that, right? Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Barbara. And Carol from Alberta. Jeanette from Sudbury, from our staff. Debbie. Anne, Kingston. And Jennifer, North Carolina. And Andrea, good morning. Good morning. Sandra, how are you? Cindy, Alliston. Deb from Detroit. And Adeline. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you for coming on. Sherry, how are you? Elsie, Newfoundland. And Dawn. Oh, I got so many songs in my head. Connie. And Fran. And Donna from Bell Valley. And Dave, how are you? Okay. You guys are so great. We appreciate your faithfulness to this program. Debbie from Sturgeon, Lisa Marie, and Lise, and Carol. You guys are wonderful. Jeanette. Steady Eddies. Julie, Bowmanville. And Frelene. How are you? Donna. Luella, West Tennessee. And Cosmina. And Brenda. Okay. You know what I want to talk to you about? Hello, Jian. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is another in the series, Fibre Is Overrated. Okay? Now, I got two studies here that confirm what I've been saying for a long time. Now, again, guys, I want to be consistent. Okay? I don't want to tell you something and then change my mind. Now, does that mean I wouldn't change my mind? No. I could change my mind. Convince me, and I will change my mind. But I've always said this about fiber. It's overrated. It's overrated. Now, the worst fibers are insoluble, meaning that you eat them, but they're on their way out because your body it can't take it for nutrition. It has nothing to do with what your body will absorb. They're called insoluble fibers. Now, a couple of studies that are, well, one of them would be disturbing. But I just want to talk about, and then we'll talk about constipation, because the reason that fiber became such an important part of mainstream medicine or mainstream healthcare has to do with cereal companies, okay? I've watched it, guys. Why were people eating all brand? Okay? Kids don't eat all brand, do they? Well, they might eat some brand cereals, but I don't think they particularly like all brand. But all brand became famous because of fiber. They said, well, it'll make you go to the bathroom. You know how many times I heard that from patients over the years? 2 studies, okay? 2 studies. One shows insoluble fiber. This is significant, guys. Insoluble fiber. You know what it does? It feeds the bad bacteria. Now, not so much in the large intestine. Interesting. More so in the small intestine. Where your food is being absorbed is in your small intestine. Okay? So, let me just show it to you. I think I have. Okay, I'm going to get a chart out. For those listening on the podcast later on, I'm showing the digestive system on a chart. My old 1970 atlas that I've used for how many years is that? That's, you know, it's well over, well, it's 50. It's more than 50 years. I've been using this atlas, but I like it. Okay? I like it. And I want to show you, okay, the where food gets absorbed, okay? So when you look, the large intestine, okay, you see it here, the large intestine, where food, okay, it's where the food gets into the small intestine here, okay? This is where you find, guys, SIBO. I've talked to you about that. SIBO or SIFO. It's really SIFO. Now, you can get bacteria in there. It really doesn't belong in there. One of the ways your body fights bacteria, the bad guys, in the small intestine is when you have really good stomach acidity. Really good stomach acidity. That's a big, big factor. So when you, for example, you get acid reflux, you don't have enough acidity. You're much more susceptible to H. pylori, which is a bacterial infection that particularly likes your stomach. But you know what they're saying in this study? Fiber actually feeds that. It feeds the bad guys. That's not good. You don't want that. Now, I've taught you this. Whenever you get a bacteria that reoccurs, ladies, in your bladder, folks, men and women, in your sinuses, kids in their ears, when they get a recurring infection, well, a lot of times in the ears it's virus, but when you get, as an adult, you can get an infection, recurring sinuses, recurring bladder, recurring gut bacteria. Let me tell you this. This is foundational, guys. This is foundational. It's yeast. It's fungal. Now, there's bacteria present. I agree with that. But it's not the main thing. The reason that you get constipated, one of the reasons, I'm going to talk about the hormonal aspect in a minute, is you have a yeast infection in your gut. And yeast, you know what it is, guys? It makes bread rise. It creates inflammation. Bread, yeast in bread, okay, it makes it rise. Inside your body, it makes you bloat. It creates an inflammatory response. When you have inflammation, you have less room in your bowel for your bowel becomes thinner because it's inflamed. The walls are inflamed. What happens? Constipation. For a lot of people, constipation. And it may go back and forth between constipation and diarrhea. You got IBS. You got a digestive issue. What this study is saying is that fiber irritates that because it's feeding the wrong guys. Like they always say it, like go and Google it if you want. If you don't believe me, Google this. What's the best way to have a prebiotic? Google prebiotics. Fiber. You need fiber. Fiber feeds the microbiome. Yeah, it does. I agree. It's just feeding the wrong ones. Like sugar does. We have bought the lie that your body can't live without fiber. Anyway, the second study, okay, and it really goes along with the first one. The second study in PubMed, okay, this is where I read it, in PubMed says, fibers help growth of tumors. Ooh, well, that's not good, is it? Folks, again, you have to admit, you have to, if you've known me for any period of time, I've said this for so long, makes your head spin. Fibre is overrated. Okay? Now, there is a fiber I do like. And again, Google it, and you're going to see every guru say that I'm crazy when I say this. They don't say Dr. Martin is crazy, but they say when someone talk, like, don't use flax seeds. Well, I disagree with that. You know me. I even allow you to have some flaxseed on the reset. Why do I do that? Well, you're going to get, first of all, the biggest thing that's in flaxseed is lignans. It's 100 times more than anywhere else in the plant kingdom. 100 times. What does that do? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing flax seeds. Why? Lignans. Why are they so good? Because they hammer down your estrogen. So even though that flax is a phytoestrogen, okay, in itself, it's a phytoestrogen. That's why gurus don't want you to touch it. They forget. It's, you see, in nature, God always gives you the right formula. Flax seeds have 100 times the lignan, Lignans, lignans that block estrogen. That's why, ladies, I want you to do it, because tumors, especially breast tumors, ovarian tumors, uterine tumors, anything ladylike, need estrogen. And men, listen, Linda, men, estrogen makes your prostate grow and grow and grow. You don't want too much estrogen. So, block it. One of the ways to do it is lignans. That's why I like flax. Okay? Now listen. Let's get to some hormonal issues. Almost invariably, I've seen this. So one, there's two negative things about fiber. One, they feed the wrong type of bacteria. And two, they help to promote tumor growth. Wow. So be careful with fibers. Don't take it hook, line, and sinker. Well, Dr. Martin, if I don't take it, if I don't take it, I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not saying the bathroom is overrated. It's not, okay? But, like some people sacrifice, in my opinion, their health to be regular. It's like, I've said this in the past, you're not going to win a prize for the biggest poo, okay? If you eat the right foods, and this is numero uno, if you eat the right foods, your cells at the cellular level love 100% or 99% pure octane. Well, then you don't, see, the problem with carbs is there's a lot of debris in carbs. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like paper and twigs. It doesn't give you a long burning fuel. It's very short, and your body discards. Your body discards most of the carbohydrate. It loves the sugar part of it. Give me sugar, 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 sugar. Give it to me, give it to me. Because if you insist on eating sugar, your body will take 25% of that up for your headquarters, your brain. That's why it's so important to change fuels. Yeah, there's a lot of fiber in carbohydrates. So what? They suck up all your water. They dehydrate you. And they're so overrated. Anywho, let's get to hormones. Hormones. One of the biggest factors in constipation is not a lack of fiber. It's not. There'd be no constipation for the amount of fiber people eat in our society. They don't eat enough eggs, meat, and cheese. And they love their fiber. I'm going sailing, as if you're a rabbit. Teaching yesterday in Dr. McEwen's class at the University of Tennessee. You You're not a cow. Cows have 4 stomachs. You only have 1. Cows eat the grass. You don't. Rabbits. When you see a rabbit eating salad, that's all right. You're not a rabbit. Hormones. Oh, the thyroid slows down. Hypo. Sluggish. I developed the term, I think. I don't remember anybody else doing it. I called it, they call it hypothyroidism, but you might not be, officially hypothyroid. But when you have thyroid symptoms of a sluggish thyroid, that's what I call it. I have a sweet spot where your thyroid operates at the top of its game. But one thing I never forget, I learned it as a young man. I still use it in my mind today. And I want to know symptoms. Are you losing your hair? Is your hair thinning out? Are your eyebrows thinning out? Is your skin drying up? Right? Is, you're gaining weight. Just look at food and you gain weight. Do you have constipation? Well, your thyroid is your metabolism. Your thyroid is the orchestra leader. Your thyroid even helps when it's functioning properly with what we call peristalsis, which is you got little wee hairs, microscopic, that move your feces down the road. Don't stay here. Get out. I want you to move along, young fella. Talking to your feces. And that's what peristalsis is. When your thyroid is sluggish, okay? So what causes constipation? Okay? Yeast overgrowth. Yeast overgrowth. Sluggish thyroid. Another one is inflammation. And that can be caused by either yeast or it can be caused by cortisol, stress over a period of time. Creates an inflammatory response in the gut. Now that, like I said, that one there can go between diarrhea and constipation. Sometimes it's back and forth. But it's not a lack of fiber. It's inflammation. And what happens when the bowel is inflamed? It affects your liver. And your liver gets gummed up. It gets gummed up for 2 reasons. One, you're a carboholic. We all know what happens in the liver when you are a carboholic. It's the Costco parking lot. The conversion of T4 to T3 in the liver is messed up. You can't detox when your liver is full of fat. You can't even detoxify the estrogen. You have too much estrogen, it decreases the conversion of T4 to T3. That affects your thyroid even more. It slows your thyroid down. The gas pedal in your car don't go to the floor. And everything slows down. And let me say this too. If you have hyperthyroid, even without autoimmune, it usually is, it's Graves or whatever. Even then, you're messed up between your T4 and your T3. Remember our teaching on the thyroid. You only get a teaspoon in a whole year of T3. It is finicky. The thyroid is finicky on the best of days. Especially in women. You know why? Because women have many more moving parts than men. Men aren't complicated. Not like women are. Women are complicated. Now, ladies, don't be insulted by that. I used to use the word weird. I don't say that no more. I say you're unique. Women are complicated. You know why? You know why? You have ovaries. Ovaries complicate the world. Yeah. And you guys know I love you, ladies. Okay? I do. I feel sorry for you. Men, Women, hormones. I never say that to a man. Ever. Ladies, your ovaries complicate your life. And if it's in great balance, beautiful. But what if you're making too much estrogen compared to your progesterone? And your gut gets affected by that a lot of times. That's why one of the reasons I do the reset, guys, it's a hormone diet. It really is. You need to start with the real best fuel. You're changing fuel. Go out to the airport and watch them fill the planes. They're not filling it with 87. Do you want 87? Like I filled up my, you have to, I got a truck, guys, okay? You got to mortgage your house today to fill it up. Jeez, I can't stand it. Anyway, but you know what I know about fuel? Not much. 87, 88, or 89, and then there's premium, right? You guys know that. Yeah. Today we all feel, when I was a kid, you couldn't go to a gas station and fill up your own car. Are you kidding me? I tell my grandchildren that. Grandpa, I never filled up my tank once. In the 70s, you went to a gas station, they had an attendant there. But today you get out and you fill up your vehicle. True or false? True. And you look at fuel. You go 87. Well, that's the cheapest one. Does my car run on it? Yeah, good. Because it's cheapest. Cheapers. You need to take out a second mortgage. Anyway, don't get me started in politics. Okay? So, estrogen in balance, the womanly hormone in balance, very good for you. Makes you a woman. But when it's out of balance, you're in doo-doo. And one of the things that happens is digestive issues. And it happens in the liver, doesn't stay in the liver. It affects the thyroid. Chronic stress, estrogen dominance, the endotoxins that I talked to you about. When you're feeding the wrong bacteria and you're feeding yeast, sugar and fiber are not good combination. I think I should talk about that. Sugar and fiber are not a good combination. They're feeding the bad guys. in the small intestine. It's not good. It's not good. You're changing your microbiome, all right. Don't feed the bears. Don't feed the bears. It's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so what do you do if you're constipated? Okay, what do you do? Well, again, number one, I want you to think hormones. I want you to write out your symptoms. What do you feel? And make sure that your thyroid is working properly, because a lot of people don't rely on blood tests, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, I should teach a course. They should make physicians go back to school on hormones. They really should, because they just treat symptoms, and they're hijacked. You know, I hate to be negative, but hijacked by blood work. The lab tells them what to do, rather than you tell them. A good doctor's listening. Like my dad used to say, listen, son, the patient has inside information. Listen, Tony. Okay? See? It's not only Linda I talk to. I talk to myself. Listen. Listen. And observe. Of course, that was me in the office. I used to look at that. Coming in, I'm looking at a lady's eyebrows. I can tell you if you had hormonal problems almost out of the get-go. Okay? So what do you do if you're constipated? Numero uno is water. I don't know. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 because I don't want to say one is more important than the other. But I talked about water because it's in my top 4. What do you do when you're constipated? Make sure you have enough water. And only water is water. Do you understand me? Only water is water. Probiotics. There are bacteria, the good guys, that you introduced into your gut. There's certain bacterial strains, okay, that are really, really important for constipation and really help. So you know me, everybody and your dog should be on probiotics. Everybody and your dog should be on probiotics. Constipation, probiotics. Very important. Okay? Water, probiotics, coffee. Do you want me to send you the studies on coffee and normal peristalsis? Coffee is very effective for that. It's another reason I call it vitamin C. Okay? Very important to do that. Make sure your thyroid's working well, because that could be a big, big factor. If you're sluggish, you got to fix that. You got to get your estrogen down. That's why I'm big on flaxseed. Now listen, if you have diverticulosis, then be careful with the seeds, grind them up. I'm not big on grinding, by the way. I'm not. Like, you got to have ground. But if you have diverticulosis with little pouches in your transcending colon there, your ascending colon, excuse me, You want the part of the transverse colon. You want a transverse, no, it's down. It's the ascending colon. Sorry. My anatomy. Hey, I'm a senior. I can make mistakes. Okay? Now, that's what you do. Probiotics, water, coffee, flax. I like that. Get your estrogen down. Don't feed the bears. No sugar, because that really feeds the fungus. And even the bacterial overgrowth that can happen. Don't over-fiber it. It's overrated. Okay? I'm just trying to think if I missed anything. Get your stress levels down. Cortisol. That has an effect. Because when you have high stress, it slows your thyroid down. It speeds it up at first, and then long-lasting, it slows it down. Because it doesn't allow the conversion of T4 to T3. Get that stress level down. Get the inflammation down in the gut. Okay. Okay, so what's Friday? Question and answer Friday. You got it. Okay? So remember that. You got any questions? Friday we answer. Okay? Are you a member of the private Facebook group? You are? Good for you. If you're not, invite your friends and family to join that group. Okay? And if they can't watch live, you can share this, which I highly recommend you do, or you can get them to download the Doctor Is In podcast, because that's what these things become. The Doctor Is In podcast. Okay, so join up. Download them on your smartphone or re-listen to them. It's a good idea. I think it is. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. Talk to you soon.